I was told to hire my replacement. What I didn't know, I was actually hiring my executioner. My name is Sarah Chin. For 15 years, I was the person companies called when they needed someone to disappear. Not literally, of course, just professionally, permanently. I was the director of human resources at Apex Solutions, and I was very good at my job. Too good, maybe, because in the fall of 2023, the board decided my department was next on the chopping block, and they wanted me to swing the axe on myself. This is the story of how I recruited the person who would destroy me, and why, if you're watching this from an office cubicle right now, you might be next. The meeting was on a Tuesday. I remember because Tuesdays were for terminations. Mondays were too cruel. Let them enjoy one last weekend. Wednesdays interrupted the week, but Tuesdays were perfect. Richard Hollis, our CEO, didn't look me in the eye. He stared at his hands instead, at the Mont Blanc pen he'd played with through 1,000 meetings just like this one, except I was usually on his side of the table.
The merger requires streamlining. Your department. 90 days.
90 days to fire my team? To erase my own job and to find someone to replace me? I should have felt nothing. Anger, fear, betrayal. But I'd spent 15 years learning to feel nothing. It was a skill, a survival mechanism. You cannot fire 247 people. I remember the exact number. I have a spreadsheet. You cannot look 247 people in the eye and tell them they no longer matter and still carry their grief with you. You have to become efficient. So I did what I always did. I made a list. Requirements for my replacement. Someone competent, of course. Someone who understood the business, but not too competent, not too memorable. Someone who would maintain the systems I'd built without questioning them, without improving them. Someone who would preserve my legacy. I didn't realize I was describing a ghost. The applications came in waves, 73 in total. I screened them down to 12, then 4, then 1. Elena Voss, 29 years old, Stanford MBA, McKinsey consultant for 4 years, which meant she knew how to work 80-hour weeks without complaining. She spoke Mandarin and German. She volunteered at a legal aid clinic, which I noted but didn't investigate. Her references were glowing without being suspicious, and in person, charming, humble, almost too perfect. She wore a navy suit that fit like it was tailored, it probably was, and she listened to me with this intensity that made me feel seen, important.
I've studied your career extensively, Sarah. The restructuring at Meridian, the cultural transformation at Cortec. You're exactly who I want to become.
I should have noticed, should have heard it. The way she said extensively, the way her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. But I was flattered. I was vulnerable. I was, for the first time in 15 years, afraid. And fear makes you stupid. I hired her on the spot. I had 6 weeks to teach Elena everything. 6 weeks to transfer 15 years of institutional knowledge, political navigation, and though I wouldn't have called it this, 6 weeks to teach her how to break people cleanly. We started with the basics, the software systems, the reporting structures, the unwritten rules of Apex, who actually made decisions, whose signatures mattered, whose didn't. But Elena wanted more.
How do you handle the difficult ones? The ones who cry, the ones who threaten?
She asked it during our 3rd session, her notebook open, pen poised. I remember the page. She'd written my answer before I gave it, then crossed it out when I said something different. I told her about the performance improvement plans, the PIPs, how to document just enough to create a paper trail, but not enough to invite scrutiny, how to use language that sounded supportive while actually building a cage, how to make them believe it was their idea to leave. Preserve their dignity, I said. It makes them less likely to sue. I actually said that, preserve their dignity, as if dignity was something you could portion out like vacation days. Elena took notes with disturbing thoroughness. She recorded our sessions, with permission, of course. She asked me to repeat stories, specific examples, the exact words I used in difficult conversations. I found it flattering. She was building a library of me. Week 3, I caught her in my office, after hours. My door was locked. I was certain I'd locked it, but there she was, at my computer, scrolling through files. What are you doing?
IT gave me access for onboarding. I was reviewing your historical performance data. I hope that's all right. I wanted to understand your evolution as a leader.
My evolution? She made it sound like biology, like I was a specimen. I should have reported her, should have changed my passwords, restricted her access, trusted the instinct that prickled at the base of my skull. But she was so apologetic, so professional, and I needed her to succeed. My severance depended on a smooth transition, so I believed her. I didn't know she was reading my therapy receipts, my old complaint files, the ones that never went to legal, the handwritten notes from my first year, when I still wrote things like, "This feels wrong," and "She has children." The things I thought I deleted or buried or outgrown, Elena found them all. My last day. I dressed carefully, a theory I'd always had. When you're being fired, wear something expensive. It won't save you, but it confuses them, makes them wonder if they're making a mistake. I expected a small ceremony, Richard, maybe someone from legal, a folder with my severance terms, the standard package for executives, 6 months, benefits, glowing recommendation in exchange for a non-disparagement agreement. I'd written that template myself. Stepping in the conference room, Elena was already there. She sat in my usual chair. Richard stood by the window, suddenly fascinated by the parking lot, and next to Elena, Margaret Chen, head of legal, not her assistant, Margaret Chen herself.
Elena looked at me and said, "Sarah, please sit."
I didn't sit. I looked at the table, at the dossier, black binder, unlabeled, an inch thick. I'd seen binders like that before. I'd assembled binders like that before, but never with my name on them.
Over the past 3 years, Apex Solutions has conducted an internal audit of historical terminations, specifically those involving employees over 40, employees with disclosed disabilities, and employees on protected leave. The pattern is striking.
She didn't look at me. She turned pages, each one a photograph, a timestamp, an email I'd written and forgotten.
247 terminations, 73% involved legally protected classes, 89% were preceded by performance plans that were, let's be generous, accelerated, and in 41 cases, documentation was altered post-termination to support the decision. You taught me to document everything, Sarah. You just didn't realize I was documenting you.
I couldn't breathe. I looked at Richard, but he was still watching the parking lot. This had been decided. This had always been decided.
I'm actually not from McKinsey, by the way. I've never been to Stanford.
My references are, how did you put it? Glowing without being suspicious.
I'm an internal auditor. I've been building this case for 3 years. I applied for this job because you were the only one who could confirm what I suspected. You didn't just follow orders, Sarah. You optimized them. You made cruelty efficient. You taught me everything: how to document, how to build trust, how to wait for the perfect moment to strike. I just applied your methods to you.
They escorted me out. No severance, no recommendation. Legal review pending, which meant lawyers, which meant bankruptcy, which meant everything I'd done to others, done to me. Wait, that wasn't the end. Email notification. Different tone, urgent. 3 days later, I received an email, anonymous, encrypted, a single attachment, a birth certificate. My realization dawning. Maria Voss, age 41, cause of death, complications from preeclampsia, no insurance, terminated 3 weeks prior for performance issues, terminated by me. She'd had a daughter, 18 months old, placed with social services, the father unknown, unlisted, uninterested. The daughter's name was Elena. I stared at the screen for an hour, maybe longer. I didn't drink, didn't move, just sat with the weight of a name I'd never learned, a death I'd processed like an invoice, and a daughter who had grown up to become my perfect reflection. I went to confront her, found her at the office, 10 o'clock at night. The floor was empty, lights dimmed, just the glow of her monitor painting her face blue. She didn't look surprised. Looking at her, I said, "You killed me professionally for something I did when I was 24. I didn't even know her name. I didn't know she had a daughter. I didn't know anything because I never looked. I just processed her like a transaction."
You didn't know her name. You didn't know she had a daughter. You didn't know anything because you never looked. But here's what you don't know. I'm not here for revenge. There are 12 other Sarahs in this industry, 12 other people who built careers on broken lives, and I need someone who knows how they operate, someone who understands the systems, the language, the loopholes. Your choice, consultant or convicted.
I signed the agreement, not because I wanted redemption. I'm not sure I believe in redemption anymore. I signed because I was afraid, because I was beaten, because Elena had learned my final lesson, that survival always wins. I assisted in the prosecution of 8 executives, regional directors, vice presidents, people I'd had dinner with, shared secrets with, destroyed lives alongside. I documented their systems, their shortcuts, their cruelties. I was very good at my job. I never found out what happened to Elena's adoptive family, whether she was loved or damaged or simply waiting for the moment when the student would surpass the teacher, when the replacement would become the original. Sometimes I search my name, Sarah Chen, HR consultant, compliance specialist. The articles about the trials call me a whistleblower, a reformed executive. They don't know I would have stayed silent forever if Elena hadn't forced my hand. And sometimes, late at night, when I can't sleep, I get emails. No subject, no body, just attachments. Birth certificates, death certificates, names I never learned. Elena's list, I think. The next candidates, the next replacements. And I wonder which one is mine. My phone vibrates. Notification tone, same as the opening. If you're watching this from an office cubicle, check who's training you.